The United States as an Animal Cell by Stephen Kellogg and Garrett Leffler. This is Will Water. Will Water is a recently introduced water molecule looking for refuge and knowledge. This is Mr. Saltmore. He is a salt molecule who works as a tour guide for outsider molecules. Mr. Saltmore led Will Water to a most peculiar cell, which Saltmore was sure Water would find a good life within. He called it the Cell of Opportunity. Eventually, the two of them saw the cell in the distance, enshrouded in its membrane. Saltmore said this was the one. What's that around it? That's Christie membrane. She decides what gets in and out of the cell. I'm sure you'll get in, being the water molecule you are. Who's that? He's the director of the CIA. He's how the cell senses things coming, but he's concerned with things much larger than us. Leave him alone. The two of them passed by Christie membrane, entering the cell. Saltmore elaborated that it was called the United Cell. What's this around us? This is the cytoplasm, the flesh of this cell, the bulk of the molecule populace. It contains many humble salt and water molecules like I and you. It serves as the flesh and the basics of this cell. Who's that? That's nucleus Donald Rump. Rump controls things around here. What decisions are made around here are made by Rump. To be specific, he controls their cell's expansion, replication, and has their blueprint. That blueprint is what decides who acts in a cell. Who's that? That's Plasmi Reticulum, the acting Secretary of Labor and endoplasmic reticulum. She manages the production and transportation of proteins and lipids, the basis of our cell. Why is there two of her? It's simple. There is two of her because one manages proteins and the other lipids. The one with the proteins is rough because of those ribosomes attached to her to assist her in the process. About the ribosomes. Who's this guy? This guy is one of our ribosomes, our construction workers. Him and his troop build the proteins which the whole cell is made out of by using raw materials, amino acids. We couldn't live without these guys. Are they paid fair wages? No. Who's that much bigger guy? That's Briss Bright, our acting Secretary of Energy and Mitochondria. Bright produces the energy upon which our cell relies to move around, to metabolize, and to replicate. Bright does this by converting our fuels, such as glucose or oxygen, into ATP, or power. His ends are simple compared to the rest. What about that folded guy? That's Golgi DeJoy, our Golgi apparatus. He's the manager of transportation in our cell, our postmaster general. He hires the vesicles to transport materials around. That hollow guy? That's one of our vesicles. They are hired by Golgi DeJoy to transport materials around our cell. They are our postal service. Who's that guy surrounding us? That's the head of our Department of Transportation, Cyto Duffy. He's the cytoskeleton and manages transportation of basic materials around our cell. He also gives structure to the cell with his great roots. That wraps up this tour. Any questions, Mr. Water? When I saw Christie membrane, she reminded me of a cell I saw before with a much thicker wall. What was that? That must have been a cell wall of something other than an animal cell. Other cells take much more care to keep out what they find unsavory. It also provides them much more shape. We are a much more heterogeneous cell. How do other cells move around? Other cells have these things called flagellum. They care much more about shipping their goods around the cell wall. We don't do nearly as much as some others do. And such ended the tour of Mr. Saltmore. Will Water went on to live as a humble water molecule, comprising the cytoplasm. Mr. Saltmore elected to stay a while, but he would eventually leave all the same.
I don't know why, it doesn't matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind, I'm resigned to try to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock takes life away, it's so unreal. Get a look down below, watch the time go right out the window. Trying to hold on, you didn't even know, always getting it on. Watch you go.